this is Taja with Boleyn Models, and this is a video going over placement primarily for Streamate. And the reason why I chose Streamate to talk about cam model traffic and placement is because it's the number one program website in the Boleyn Models Daily Pay program. And the reason for that is that basically there have been so many cam models that are in our network that have made a really great career, a nice living, a wonderful hourly average working on Streamate. And I've noticed that I quite often get a lot of questions going over the procedure. So what I would like to talk about first is just the transfer stage, because that seems to be quite a bit of confusion. So here on the screen, I'm just going to go over a little bit what it takes to get into the Daily Pay program. And this is if you're transferring to us. Of course, you could be a brand new model and some of these things wouldn't apply, but if you're transferring with us and you already have an existing account, you're going to need to close the first account, okay? So the first thing you really want to do is get started registering with us. And then once you have that, you'll have access to the portal, also the payment information gateway, also known as the pig. So you're going to need a new email address. You're going to need to do something different. This is for people who already have accounts. You're going to start with a newer email address, and you're going to need to sign up with a brand new model name. You're not going to be able to sign up with the original name, but we can change that later. So you're going to need to send an email to Streamate support at streamate.com, and you're going to have to request that your old email account get deleted. Okay, but just remember, don't use the same email address as before when you're signing up with us. Okay. Yeah, and like I just previously said, this is just a little bit more information, like frequently asked questions where people may contact us. We have this written on the website. It's stated on a couple of different forms, but I guess sometimes things just, it's a lot to look through and so forth. So I guess if we have this little video, once you actually hear the process out loud, then maybe it'll register a little bit more, because that's how I am sometimes. So yeah, you do need to close the old account. You're not allowed to have two active accounts on Streamate, and the process can be pretty quick. It really just depends on how quickly Streamate finishes up on their end, and then we can pick the ball up and start processing your paperwork. So if it's a weekday, you can get up and running in just like maybe 3 days. There may be a few things going on, like their baking holidays and things like that, but it's not a long process as long as you follow the steps here. So when does daily pay start? That's one question we get a lot. It happens immediately. Sometimes if you're doing direct deposit, it may be an additional few days because we have to verify your banking account. But once that's done, the deposits come immediately. But yeah, we don't hold your funds or anything like that. So what happens when you transfer over to Boleyn models from your old accounts or when you're starting new? A couple of things do transfer over. One can be your favorites and your things like that, but it's either or. You can't get both. You can't have both, you know, new placements and so forth. It's either or, your favorites or new placement. And another thing, like if you're not happy with our new daily pay program and you want to go back to your old account, absolutely 100%. We do not hold you into a contract like some campsites that won't name, some camp studios and so forth. But yeah, we don't have a whole period where you're held to a contract or no compete clause where you have to wait 6 months. Nope, right away you can get to it. So, new model status on Streamate, it lasts for 30 days. But like I was just saying, that it's either or. You either take the new model status where you get put into a new model category where lots of guys are going to check you out and you get tons of traffic, and then the affiliates are more likely to actually want to promote you because they think you're new, or you can get your favorites. So you can tell us at one point when you no longer want to be a new model, maybe you don't want to hold on to it for the full 30 days, maybe just do it for 2 weeks. Let us know, and then we'll start the process of transferring all your favorites over and your placement and so forth. So basically placement is determined by your ability to convert traffic into paying customers. And no, studios do not receive preferred placement. This is a myth. This is something that people talk about all the time, and it's just simply not true. So, when people talk about placement, well, why am I placed so high? Sometimes it's based on how much you make per hour. So, you may see that your placement is bumping around quite a bit. Sometimes it's really just the number one the key thing to keep in mind when it comes to high placement of Streamate is it's pretty much based on your ability to convert new customers. So that doesn't mean that if you get a new customer who only spends $5. Let's say you do goal shows, which if you notice a lot of girls at the top do a few goal shows throughout their shift, not the entire time, but sometimes that's just how it is. It's the ability to get a customer, a viewer, who's viewing the site to sign up with their credit card, and spend a buck. That's why sometimes a little tip for you guys to sometimes girls who are placed further down on the bottom of the page or the middle of the page quite frequently might out earn someone who's up a little higher because they have regulars, they have a high level of customer retention. So it's new customers versus customer retention. You know, they both might be making money, but as far as making the placement, getting high placement, it's usually the girls who are high converters, and it has a lot to do with your hustle, how you organize your shift. Sometimes you might just be strictly private. Some girls like gold shows, but just getting a guy the ability to sign up and spend money, whether it's $2, $5, or $50. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's really the trick. That's one of the tricks. But then also you have to have them maintain a consistent schedule, at least 15 hours a week. That's what we've noticed in the program. Models who maintain a consistent schedule tend to have better placement, make more money. Then there's the hustle, like I was talking about, a positive attitude. You have to show up and, be willing to work and convert sales because it is a sales job. And then a lot of times, we talk about this a lot, the cam model technology that you have, desktops are your friend. You can have a laptop, of course, but we always recommend PC desktops because if you're working a long shift, they tend to handle heat a lot better. They don't overheat as much. So those are a few little tips that you can think about. Of course, can you handle the encoder? The encoder is all the rage, the Streamate encoder. But of course, there are alternatives to the encoder because sometimes your computer setup may not be able to handle it. So you can use other things like the Open Broadcast System, which is the OBS. Adobe Encoder, I think that's obsolete at this point. There are no more updates and workarounds for that. But yeah, you really want to be able to try to use the the Streamate Broadcaster or the OBS encoder, and that will give you a boost in your placement. And the higher up you are, and if you're above the fold on the page, the more often you're going to get, seen by traffic and visitors and stuff. You'll get a greater chance to convert those sales. But of course, again, placement isn't everything. You can modify those settings to go along with the computer specs that you have, which is supposed to, believe automatically do it with the Streamate Broadcaster. And we have articles and stuff on the BoleynModels.com blog, and we also have another video talking about split camming. So if you wanted to go over this information a little bit more in detail, I would definitely encourage you to go visit our website, check out the blog, and check out our latest article on the mysteries of Streamate traffic and model placement. So again, this is Taja with Boleyn Models, and have a wonderful day. And if you have any questions, follow us on Twitter and don't be afraid to ask. Bye bye.